I want to talk about the power of majority shareholders in private limited companies. I'm Chris. I own and run Burgon Solicitors. We are a specialist litigation and commercial law firm based in London. We help business owners win disputes. I want to talk about the power of majority shareholders in private limited companies. Put simply, if you are the majority shareholder in a private limited company, then you can control it. A lot of people, though, don't know that they have this power, or they choose not to use it. Why would they choose not to use it? Well, that's a very good question. We have a lot of information about the psychology of disputes, including other videos, if you'd like to look at those. But just for now, we'll say, when faced with a really difficult situation, what most people do is they go into a state of denial and inaction, because that's the safest thing they think to do, when actually they're just storing up trouble for the future. If you're the majority shareholder of a private limited company, then you control that company. I'm going to give you some basic company law. Hopefully it's not too basic, forgive me if it is. A private limited company is, according to the Companies Act 2006, thought of as an entirely separate legal entity to the directors and shareholders of a company. So the company itself has separate and distinct interests to the people who own and run it. So the question now is, who actually runs and controls a company? Now that's according to its constitution. The most basic constitution for a company is if you set up the company and then adopt the model articles of association set by the government. Nothing wrong with that, I've done that myself. According to the model articles of association, Part 2, Section 3 of the articles say that the directors control the company. They control the company with the full power of the company. So you're thinking, okay, directors run a private limited company. But if you keep reading, Part 2, Section 4 says that the shareholders can make the directors do anything. They can overrule the directors if they pass a special resolution. Special resolution, according to the Companies Act 2006, requires a 75% vote of the shareholders. So let's be clear, if you control 75% or more of the shareholding of a company, then you are the one in control, regardless of what the directors say. On the eve of lockdown, I had a client running a construction business, and he had a board of directors that had 5 people in it, him and 4 others. Very difficult period for construction companies, of course. My client was trying to save the company. The other directors seemed to want to line their pockets in advance, and they had a number of board meetings, and my client was continually outvoted 4-1. And the other directors were saying to him, we're the directors, we've outvoted you, and so you have to do what we want you to do. My client came to me, and I asked him how much of the shares he owned, and he said 80%. So that meant that the decisions of the board of directors were meaningless, and that he could overrule all of them, which is what he did, and he ended up dismissing all of them so that he could control his company during that very difficult period. What if you don't have 75% of the shares? What if you just have a bare majority, which is 51% or more? Well, you still have a great deal of power. Under Section 168 of the Companies Act 2006, if you have a bare majority of shares, then you can pass an ordinary resolution, and that means that you can remove a director. The procedure for removing a director is pretty simple. You have to set a meeting in advance for 28 days, give the director notice that you're going to try to pass a resolution to remove them. You have to give them the opportunity to respond, but when it comes to the meeting, if at the time of the meeting you have 51% or more of the shares, then you are going to win. The meeting is simply going to be ceremonial. So if you're a majority shareholder in a private limited company and there's somebody trying to rip you off, trying to undermine the business, perhaps competing against you, maybe just taking money out of the business without your consent, then come to us and we'll advise you as to how to use your power to take back control of your company.